2 inches. You know you need a mat. You need a mat that's 11 by 14. So first thing you need to do is pick up your piece of mat board, and you're going to cut it to an 11 by 14 shape. Sorry, don't wake anybody up that was sleeping. The mat cutter itself has those dimensions on here. This was a previously cut mat, so I'm going to cut it just a little bit bigger so I can have straight edges on it. Pull it down, flip it over, and this one goes to 14 inches. Make sure that you tuck the mat board down into the mat cutter. Pull. Okay, we've got this 14 inches, now we need it 11 inches. We're going to make this a little bit bigger because, again, I have to square it off. Make sure the mat is cut. There, flip it, and you've got an 11 by 14 inch. Now let's see if this is going to. Double check, make sure that it's going to fit. Okay, that gives us a relatively small mat. I should have made this bigger. I'm glad we did this. I'm going to go back because we need to add 4 inches to that, not 2 inches.
Fine.
Okay. A 9 by 12 piece of art. In order to mat a 9 by 12 piece of art, you're going to have to add 4 inches because you want at least a 2-inch mat around it. So you take 9 by 12, add 4 inches to each side. 9 and 4 is 13 by 16. That's the size mat that you're going to need. So come over to your mat cutter and you measure. The smallest one is 13. The mat cutter will show you where you need to put your mat board. Okay, now you've got the smaller dimension, and now you need to get your 16 inches. That side's a little rough to this. 16 inches here. Pull it down. Now, put your artwork on it to make sure it's going to be what you want. That works well. Okay. Then this mat cutter needs to have another part added to it now because we're going to add the bevel. In order to do the bevel, you need the rail on it. Getting the rail set's probably the hardest thing. And it's not quite going down into there. Okay. These are kind of some of the things that will give you grief. There we go. This will slide. Now when you go, and on here there's a marking that gives you how many inches that you need you want to cut your mat. We said we wanted a 2-inch mat. Actually we want it just a little bit bigger than that so that the mat is cut, the piece will fit inside that and have enough to tape it in. So we're going to actually cut the mat about a little bit less than 2 1/4 inches. Twist these things down and tighten them up. Before you cut anything, this will save you a lot of headache. Put your mat board in and trace around. Get your dimensions so that you can see how big the mat is actually going to be. Okay, if we put this on here, this is perfect. It extends just a little bit because it's going to be a picture frame or a window that you're going to put your artwork in. This is perfect, just the way we need it to be. When you use a mat cutter, the companies always recommend that you put a piece of cardboard underneath it when you cut your bevel. Put your paper, your cardboard here, this side up with all the markings on it. You push the bevel cutter in. There's a little knob up here at the top of the bevel cutter. You push that down and hold it tight. Then take the knife, the blade is in here, you plunge it down, and then you drag this in one smooth stroke all the way to the next line. Lift up. Flip your mat around. You're going to do the same thing all the way around. Put the mat cutter up on this line, plunge the little button down, pull it straight in one smooth line to the next line. Lift it up. Spin it around. Match up, plunge the button, pull it down, take it to that line. It's important that you follow the lines and you stop and start precisely on the lines. If you don't do that, the mat itself won't lift out and you're going to have to hand cut it, and it's a lot harder to do. Plunge the little button down, push, put the knife down into it, pull it through. Match up the line. When you get to that point, this is what you have. Hello. And we can put the mat then will fit perfectly onto your artwork. And you get a very professional finish. Now, at this point, we're going to want to tape it in to place. What I usually do is set it up and get it where I want it on the artwork. Slide it off the table just a little bit. And then I put a small piece of tape to hold it in place when I go to flip it, because you're going to have to flip it and you don't want it to move a whole lot. Double check yourself before you tape it all up. And if you're doing a piece of art that you want around for a long time, then use an archival style mat or archival mat board, as well as, you know, a regular mat cutter's tape rather than just Scotch tape. It will be more long during. But for our purposes, we're okay with Scotch tape for here. Okay, then you get finished and you have your completed artwork, a nice mat cut, and you can show off what you've done. Okay.